Good day, friends. It is me, HLModTech, and I am back with another awesome Tinkercad tutorial, so let's get cracking. Let's start by naming it Sim Lab Upgrade. Now for this upgrade, we need to start in the Sim Lab. Check it out. There are 3 new connectors. There's an axle. I'm going to set right there. There is a slider connector. I'm going to move it to this corner so I can keep track of which is which. And there is a pivot connector. I'm going to set these down, and we're going to go back here to play with them. So there are so many options with these. Of course, if you want more, you can just duplicate the one that you just made with Control D. I'm going to do Control D and move this out here. There are 2 handles built into it. These are what we connect to the parts that use the axle. Now the blue one will be the piece that spins. The one that connects to this, the one that connects here, will be the part that stays stationary. So I'm going to bring out a cylinder. I'm going to make it real skinny. I'm going to raise it up in the air, and we're just going to make a silly target that spins. Right now I'm going to click on my connector. I'm going to use C for cruise, and I'm going to set it on top of that design. I'm going to select those 2, choose L for align, and I want center and center just because it looks better. Now since I want this to spin, I'm going to have 2 things to shoot at. The first thing I'm going to bring out is a star. I do want to stand it up. I'm going to use Shift Squeeze to make it a little smaller, and then D to drop. And then also I'm going to bring out the heart. Now this is kind of cool. I can cruise it on the star so it's already aimed the right way. Now I'm going to Shift Scale so it's close to the same size, and D to drop. I'm going to move those a little bit apart. Let's select them. Do L for align, center. They're already aligned at the bottom. I am going to center them this way, and I'm going to group them. So if I put these above the orange one, let's do Control Shift up. So they are up in the air for a target. I want this to spin around the middle, and I'm going to connect to that shape right there. And this one's going to connect to the orange one. At this point, let's go to the Sim Lab and test it. Notice those 2 shapes take a moment to snap together. I want this one to be static. Those will be able to spin. Let's hit play. It balances like we expect, and bingo, we have got a fun, easily spinning target. Of course, you can hit pause. We've made stuff like this before, but they never spun that well. How cool is that? Let's quickly hit reset and back out and learn about the next connector. This time we're going to grab the pivot. Once again, I'm going to do Control D, Shift Nudge to move it back here towards the middle. I'm going to make another fun target. You can lift it up with the handle. You can also just lift it up by doing the Control up or Control Shift up. I'm going to make a silly punching bag. I'm going to just make my cylinder taller. I'm going to give it less size. Let's do 8. I'm going to give it a bevel just because I think it'll look cool. I'm going to do 2, and I'm going to do 5, and that is sort of like a punching bag. You know what? Let's bump up the sides just so it's more round. I'm also going to make it look red because that's the color I picture for punching bags. I'm going to grab those 2 and do Control up so they're a little higher in the air, and then I want to line them up. We can press L for align, and we want to do center and center. I'm going to make sure this is going straight up, and I'm going to connect this right here. We could limit how far it moves. I don't want to limit how far it moves. I'm going to make it go to the full 90, and let's give that a quick test as well. If we hit play, of course we can still spin this one, and let's see if that one moves. Yes, it does. This is so cool. Let's see if we can change its direction. You bet we can. Oh my gosh, that is so fun. It's not connected to anything, so really I could have done this without the spinner. Let's see if I can send it back the other way. How cool is that? Of course, you can pause, slide it back, rewatch it. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. All right, everybody, now we're going to play with the slider. We're going to make something that goes back and forth on a sliding direction. Bring out a cube, make it skinny, do Control D, push it to the other end, make sure you've got a nice bit of distance, select them both, do L for align, and we want it to be middle, and we're going to group those 2. Now we're going to put a peg in the middle. We're going to do that with a cylinder, cruise it out on the shape, stretch it crazy long, and then we're going to shift squeeze to make it smaller. Now it'll get too short, which is fine, but we just want it to that length. We want to stretch it out so it reaches. When you're happy, select that whole bunch, do L for align, and we want middle and middle. That is our bar. We are not going to group it because we want to use separate materials for these. I'll show you that in a minute. Now I want something to throw at. I'm going to throw at a polygon. Notice if I set the polygon or if I cruise the polygon onto the heart, it is aimed the right way. Then I can just do Shift Select to grab those two shapes, choose a line, make this one the boss, and I want it to be centered. And then I'm going to lower it down. So I'm doing Control down to get it to the height I want. Now it's time to cruise, and we're going to cruise along this pipe. So once again, Control D so that we can bring this back and use it again. C for cruising, and like I said, we're going to get it along this pipe. So I'm going to stretch the blue one out so it's on the orange piece. Let's get oriented so we grab the right one, and now I want this one, notice the orange lines around it, to be connected to my polygon. So you can see it's going to go along that axis and that axis. Friends, let's take this into the Sim Lab and give it a test. I mentioned a moment ago I want different materials. We're going to make this out of bouncy rubber, but we don't want it to move. It's static. Of course, we need this one to be static as well. And at this point, friends, let's hit play, give it a test. If I shoot at the football, check it out. It goes back and forth. Can we hit it with enough power? Yes, I hit it with enough power to knock it off. All right, so I was hoping for that to bounce back, and this slides back and forth good, but there was no contact. So what we're going to do is we're going to simply zip back here, and I'm going to make this stretch lower. So watch if I raise that up and then lower that down. Now my polygon will smack that rubber, and that'll make it move. I do also want to double check and make sure that it is all connected. I can stretch the black handle a little further and a little further. Let's find that black handle so we're sure it works. Let's jump back into Sim Lab and give it another test. Of course, we can hit play. Everything's still static, and now, this is so awesome. Able to get everything moving at once. How fun is that? Of course, since it's a Sim Lab project, don't forget you can test all kinds of things. I'm going to pause. What happens if we take this piece that was plastic? Quickly reset that scene. What if we switch its material to ice so it has less friction? Of course, hit play and test it to see just how awesome. Friends, we are only scratching the surface of what is possible with Sim Lab connectors. Hopefully you can see the possibilities and you're looking forward to having fun. When you are done with any project, don't forget you can hit settings, switch that background color to something cool. We can also shut off the grid. When you close settings, that is a better image of your project, and then you can share your project with the world by clicking on the Tinkercad workspace, clicking on the properties. Of course, make sure it has a good name, like mine says, Connectors Tutorial. That tutorial will be added soon. Of course, you can always check out the new shares to the HLMT23 tag. There are other ways you can reach me, and then, of course, add your tags. I do want to remind you that if you ever type the tag HLMT23 and press enter, I search that tag almost every day. And, of course, I will give you a reaction. Finally, make your design public. I always choose attribution, no derivatives, because I don't want you to copy my work. I want you to come up here, follow that tutorial, and gain some epic skills. Lastly, prove you're not a robot and hit Save Changes. Of course, as soon as you do that, friends, you can click up here on the gallery. The first thing you see are the staff picks. Friends, if it's one of mine, of course, reactions are always appreciated. If you look down below, there is either a tutorial or a bit.ly that you can type in so that you can get to the tutorial. If we click back, though, what I always love to do is shut off staff picks, click on the larger grid, and check out all the amazing designs that have been made by Tinkercad users. Check out this awesome Minecraft sword. I've actually got a tutorial about that. That is fantastic. And it took me a moment, but here it is. The tutorial that I just created. Of course, that will be linked in there soon. And of course, friends, those reactions are appreciated. One other super quick bonus, if you want to see all of my projects or any other users, simply click on their username and you will be able to see all the creations they've been working on. These are sorted by recent. Of course, you can always sort by reactions and take a look at their most popular creations. Of course, there's almost always a tutorial, and those reactions are appreciated. Friends, as I wrap up, I do want to remind you about my website, HLModTech.com. Of course, I've got a tab dedicated to Tinkercad with tons of amazing categories. Then down below, you can find my day one favorites, the useful starters, and the Tinkercad essentials. Beneath that, you can also find the sweet built-in messaging tool. Friends, you can click that, add your question, comment, or suggestion, and reach me almost instantly. I do also want to recommend the Tinkercad Community Discord. Friends, as you can see, there are a boatload of members, and it is a fantastic place to talk everything Tinkercad. Finally, friends, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Please also hit that share button so more people can learn about HLModTech. Of course, friends, you absolutely make my day if you take time to leave a comment down below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button. And last but not least, hit that notification bell if you want to be the first to know when there's a brand new video from me, HLModTech. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.